Hey, Andy Redfern here. Quick video on if you're seeing website traffic disappearing. If you are seeing it, it's not your fault. It has been a change that's been happening since April, and it started to get worse in May and June. It's been happening across every sector in every country around the world, and it's largely to do with how Google has started to react towards large language models like ChatGPT and how they've changed their search interface to react to that. April has definitely been a really, really poor month for a lot of businesses. It's been reported as so. And the online side of your particular business, I'm sure, has been impacted since then. So you're definitely not alone. It's definitely not something you're doing. But I wanted to outline today what has happened and actually what you need to do now in this changing landscape. So many businesses have definitely reported lots of inbound leads dropping, organic traffic dropping as well, clicks to the website, as well as funnel conversions being off as well. So why are Google and AI, why are they kind of changing the landscape along those particular lines? Well, it's largely down towards Google, and its search listing has been changed around about mid-April time. And as a result of that, you're getting less of the clicks along there. Google wants to answer a lot more of its questions in its own interface. And as a result of that, it's not sending the clicks towards your website in the way in which it used to previously. And that for you is a problem. You're still investing in SEO, you're still investing in ads, you're still investing in all of those areas. And the problem you've got is that Google is still keeping that particular traffic. It may even involve you spending more on PPC to claw back some of the losses that you potentially had fairly further down the line. And then to answer that, you've also got AI, which is and large language models, which is slowly eating your content. And that will then cause potential problems and opportunities further down the line. So it is really quite a changing landscape. And to put some colour on that and where we are this year, in 25, we see, and it's been reported by lots of different independent sources, that 65% of the clicks in the searches within Google result in no click whatsoever. So that's huge. It's even worse on mobile. 75% of the searches result in no clicks. And actually, some sectors have been really hit hard along those particular lines. Health, finance, weather, things that can be answered within Google, typically questions. 80 to 90% of their traffic has been dropped as a result of being answered within Google. So that's huge. This has been something that's been happening for a while, but it's been really accelerated from April on there. I wanted to give you a good example of this. This is really just an example of that kind of creep of zero-click. When we come in here, this is Google search listings. We can see a search phrase there at the top. And then we've got that first panel, which is the AI answers. You've got your PPC listing. You've got potentially some Google My Business listings. You've got some images. So the organic position, even if you were in position number one, is very, very rarely getting seen now. And unless you're in the AI answers with your particular content, and you are answering the perfect question that Google is looking for, you are not likely to be seen along those particular lines. That is a worry for lots of businesses, particularly on the desktop search. Also, if you look at a more really specific phrase on here, if we look on a really specific phrase, particularly in the law sector on desktop, you can see that it becomes even more difficult as Google has got a wider AI pack at the top. It's got some PPC listings, it's got some images, it's got some forum listings as well. So again, your content is falling further down. Question content has been really badly hit in order to see in terms of the content moving forward. And this, if you expand the little drop down where it says show me more, this is the content that is being picked up by Google's AI and the results that you can give via its AI overview. You can see lots and lots of content, few of the little icons that are on there. but it's not actually forcing you to click on them links. It's not really shoving it in your face. It's really just saying, look, I've answered the question. If you want more information, go to these particular places. So is this on its way? Is this what Google is going to look like in 6 to 12 months? Who knows? But you need to be prepared for that, particularly if you've got a good source of leads coming through Google at the moment. And lastly, if we move on to mobile, which takes up a large percentage of Google searches, it's even worse. You would have your normal map pack, but also the AI the AI overview is even larger on some of the functions as well. So on your mobile screen as well. So again, mobile, it's pretty understandable why 70 to 80% of the searches result in no clicks. So what's happening and how can we prove that? The graph you see on the screen is taken from something called Google Search Console. Now, Google Search Console is something that that every website can apply for, and Google shares information on two main metrics, and they are impressions and clicks. Now, for many, many years, impressions and clicks have correlated and lived very, very happily together. And as a result of that, they have worked, they've been almost proportional. You can see going back to 23, that was quite proportional all the way round. You may see some spikes in traffic, but it was really, really quite proportional along those lines. And by and large, if you've seen an increase in your visibility, you also got the benefit of the clicks coming to your website. Now, that all changed around about the point here where we've got late March to April time, where we start to see clicks fall off a cliff. We see this kind of pattern of the blue line dropping off, which means less clicks coming towards your site, whereas you still receive some visibility, which means that you may be in the AI pack, but you fundamentally have lost all of that traffic coming towards your site. Huge, huge problem for businesses along the lines, specifically if those clicks were resulting in inquiries, leads, revenue, or new email signups. Your business is definitely impacted as a result of these particular areas. So it's called the great uncoupling, and it's a big, big challenge for businesses. So what's the latest? We have kind of two main different streams, I suppose we would call them now. You will still have your optimization for Google. We've still got your standard SEO. You've still got all of those things that you would do normally. Nothing's massively changed on there. But you've also got the ability now where Google, how do we get your business within that AI listing? That's going to be one big challenge that all marketing agencies are going to focus on. But also, marketing agencies are now focusing on large language models like ChatGPT, DeepSeek, Grok, Claude. There are thousands of them. These are now indexing your content. They're answering questions where you will appear along those lines. And as a result of that, we need to take that very, very seriously in terms of optimizing for both of these if you are to get the right amount of inquiries coming through your business and increasing your revenue through on the side. So let's look at the growth of large language models. What we know at the moment is, on average, we know that large language models like ChatGPT are bringing in a really small amount of traffic. They're bringing in 0.5 to 1%, maximum of 2% of your overall traffic. It's tiny. However, we are seeing this on some of our sites, but also across the board. We are seeing this doubling every week or every month. So it is growing very, very quickly because the answers you get from ChatGPT and likewise provide very, very good quality. We also know that they convert at a slightly different rate. I'll give you an example. So if your site converts at 2%, we know on rough average that ChatGPT would typically convert at something like 5% because you are significantly more qualified through ChatGPT because you've probably asked thousands of questions and ChatGPT says this is the most relevant website. You click on it, you are more likely to convert than you would do if you were a cold searcher through Google. We have seen the conversions through some of our client sites to be significantly higher. We've seen 50% conversion rate, 45% conversion rates through some of these large language models. So the opportunity here is really, really huge. If you can provide the right answers to large language models like ChatGPT and Grok, as a result of that, you will tend to see higher conversion rates. Now, the opportunity for these is really, really large because Google isn't the gatekeeper anymore. It isn't the only gatekeeper anymore. What I expect to happen over a period of time is that Google's inquiry volumes is going to steadily decrease, whereas the inquiries coming from other forms of medium, like large language models, are going to increase on a week-by-week, month-by-month basis. Now, this may not impact us now, but you could imagine 12 months down the line, ChatGPT is going to be a serious player in how it makes money for your particular business. And the search engines are going to definitely decrease as people use large language models more and more on a daily basis. So your campaigns need to evolve. And what do you need to do on them? Realistically, I've categorized them into 4 main areas here. Your clicks are down, your funnels are kind of leaking. We need to change a couple of things. One, the reporting. Clicks have a huge drop. If you're someone who has to report to your board or your superiors as to why traffic has decreased by 40-odd%, how are you going to explain that in words that are quite easy to explain? And if your remuneration is linked towards them, you better start talking about that now. So the reporting is quite key. Your KPIs are going to change because clicks are no longer really a thing anymore. It's all about visibility. It's all about brand growth. In addition towards that, you are going to have to look at the way in which you produce your content. Top of the funnel is probably going to go, or near as damn it go. But it will add some good visibility towards your business. But bottom of the funnel content, if we can get that to rank in Google, if you can get that also then to appear in large language models and it converts significantly better, that is much more closer to your conversion rate. Your change in your focus definitely has to move down that particular conversion plan along those lines. From a conversion standpoint, conversions now on your site are going to be even better. If you have any time to invest in conversion rate optimization, now is the time. Because if your traffic's dropping, there are ways in which you can increase conversions relatively quickly. And then lastly, the obviously optimization of your funnels is going to be really key. Through conversion rate optimization. And if you can squeeze an extra 1% through your business this year, it's going to make a big, big difference. Lastly, communication. Communication with all parties in the business. It will be communication with you and agencies, with you and the board, with you and other suppliers. Relationships need to be stronger now than they've ever had them. It's really important that you get that piece right along those particular. So they're the 4 areas that need to happen. These are the new rules. This is the new way of working on your campaigns going forward. So first of all, let's work together on this. If you want some kind of a guidance and advice on here, let's fix your funnel before the Q4 disappears. You really do need to start making changes now. I've got 2 things that I'm going to offer towards people. If you want a free audit of where your site is, and if it is following the same path as the data I've showed towards you, I can give you that. In addition, I'll give you a free strategy session as well as to what you need to do to improve your business along those lines. So, hopefully this has been helpful. My name's Andy Redfern. Comment down below if you feel there's any questions, and I'd be happy to answer them.